नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्मविद्यासम्प्रदायकर्तृभ्यो वंशऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। ॐ शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। Sri Guru Pyo. We have been studying or going through the philosophy and explanation of Kathopanishad, as Jadavedji was explaining in the beginning. We had the scenery where the son and the father asking question and the son reaching the Yama's place, and his adamancy, even though he was offered even to the most coveted position which a mortal can think about, of unending life and non-diminishing sense organs with all celestial luxuries, which was denied in the child. That commitment and the steadfastness of the seeker, which is shown in the example of Nachiketa, who said, I don't want all these things, keep it yourself, tell me but the truth. What I heard that some people say that after death there is something, and some other people say there is nothing after death. I want to know the truth. What is that truth? And, oh Master, you have to tell me. Then the dialogue between the two takes place, and Yama, pleased with the steadfastness of Nachiketa, started explaining what is the truth behind it. And in the second Valli, from the 15th verse onwards, he started explaining the nature of the reality, or what is the truth, which is called Atma or Brahman. And toward the end of the second Valli, he himself goes into a soliloquy type of a situation where he says that, what happens to the person who are in the path of Brahmanya, means Brahma Jijnasa, or you are in the Kshetram, means who are engaged in the Kshetram or in the world outside. For both of them, death is the only end for it. But who will know? Who can know? Ittha Veda Yatra Saha. Who is that person who can know about what is that truth? Is how he stopped the second Valli. The third Valli starts with the mantra which is talking about the two aspects of it. One is Upadistha, or the body, Jivatma, which is the same truth when it is reflected through an instrument of body, how it is, and how it is in the cosmic or in the totality of it. So that is how that first two slokas are giving a brief introduction to that before he goes on a practical example, which is easily can be divided into two ways of thinking about it. Those who are intellectual and who are in the path of knowledge can do it as an inquiry into the knowing the truth or the self. But those who are not into a capability of doing that way, of inquiry into the reality, they can use the same analogy or the same example what is being told by Yama for a meditational aspect. In either case, the end result is the same. Whether you reach that place, Vishnur Paramam Padam is what it is mentioned as. If it is Upasana, he sees him as the Padam as Vishnu Padam, is the Padam of the Vishnu. But for those who are in the intellectual path, they know that his Vishnu Padam is Vibhutvad Vishnu. So it is that which is Vibhu Sarvagatam Sushmam, that it is talking about that Brahman, and that knowledge is what is there. He has also reaches in that place. So this is how in the first half of this Tritiya Valli or the third Valli is all about. So we will see mantra by mantra. Ritam pipantau sukrutasya loke guham pravistau parame pararte chayapatau brahma vido vadanti panjagnayo yah cha trinachiketaha. Ritam pipantau sukrutasya loke guham pravistau parame pararte chayatapau brahma vido vadanti panjagnayo ye cha trinachiketa is how the words are split on that. Brahma vido vadanti. Brahmavit, the one who have realized Brahma or who have the knowledge about Brahma, Brahmajnanis, te vadanti. They are explaining what? Chaya tapau. Chaya means shadow and atapo means brightness. Or we can say light and darkness, or the darkness and right, or if you look at it, one is the ignorance and the other is the knowledge. Chaya tapo, you can take whichever way we want to understand it, but it is talking about the two aspects. Pravishto guhaya, having entered the deep-seated place on the body or the intellect. Parame pararde, within the ultimate, even though experiencing. Ritam sukratsasya loke. Ritam means, actually the meaning of the word ritam is satyam, or the truth. Ritam sukratasya loke pipantau. In that sukritam means the acts of good action. And the ritam here then it means not the truth, but it becomes karma phala. In the karma phala or the fruits of action, when experienced through the loke here means body. Lokyate anena iti loka. It is the body you're talking about. So, in the body, while experiencing the action, the results of actions, by doing Panjagno cha Trinachiketa, the Trinachiketa Panjagni Yaga, which was explained in the earlier slokas, where it was said that, it is the Nachiketa Agni, by doing it 3 times, or the Panjagni Yajna, which is another form of Upasana. People who do that, they go to Brahmaloka. Is Brahmaloka, Brahma Eva Loka, Brahmaloka. So that is that Brahmaloka, what it was told earlier. So those who are doing this type of good actions are able to differentiate between the ignorance and the knowledge, chaya tapo. So, only if you are doing that, if you are considering this as a ritualistic, then Trinachiketa and Panjagni Yajna are Yajna. But if you are looking at as from the philosophical point, these are all the Shravana Manana Nididhyasana are the three Trinachiketa can be considered, because this was how it was explained in the previous 2 vallis. And Panjagni Yajna is also the five agnis which are used to burn down the ignorance. So that also can be seen from the philosophical point. And those people who do the sukritam in the loke, means in the sharire, ritam is the results of the action of the sukritam. They reach parame pararde, they reach the ultimate. And even though experiencing this karma phala, they reach the parame pararde. Where pravishtau guhayam, in the heart of the one who is doing the meditation or the one who is doing the nididhyasana, in the very in body itself, he will be able to realize what that is differentiated between chaya tapo, what is the ignorance and knowledge which differentiate between the two. And this is what Brahma Vida Vadanti, those people who have done this and who have gone through this path, it is their statement, is what Yama says. And in the next mantra, he says, Yaha Seturi Jnanam Aksharam Brahma Yatparam Abhayam tidirshatam param nachikedam shakemahi. Yaha setu ijananam aksharam brahma yat param abhayam tidirshatam param nachiketam shakemi is how the word splitting is that. Shakemihi nachiketam. We can resort to the Nachiketa fire or we can resort to the Trinachiketam. This is Shravana Manana Nididhyasana, which will help us Yaha Setu, which in the form of a bridge. Ijananam. Ijananam is normally considered as Yajamana of a Yajna for doing the Trinachiketa Yaga. But when we are talking this from the philosophical point, it is the one who is performing the Shravana Manana Nididhyasana. And for him, Param Aksharam Abhayam Brahma. Param means supreme. Aksharam means imperishable. Abhayam Brahma. Abhayam Praptosi is what Yajnavalkya tells to Janaka after having listened to all the teachings of Yajnavalkya. Yajnavalkya tells Janaka, you have reached that state of fearlessness. Why fearlessness is the state? Brahma is the state of fearlessness. He said that Sa Ekaha Advidiyam Brahma. So because there is only one, and when there is the fear is normally when you have the otherness. Idaram andaram kurude atatasya bhayam bhavati. If you have something other than you are limited, and your limitedness can be a cause of fear because other can be superior to you, or other can invade you, other can limit your potential. But Brahma or the Sat Chitananda or Satyajnanam Anandam Brahma, Prajnanam Brahma, in all those things we have been told that Sa Ekaha, he is only one, there is only one. Advitiyam, there is nothing to second for it. So without the second, that is the one only. And then because of that, Abhayam Brahma becomes the state of Abhayam or fearlessness. Because you don't have to be afraid of anything, that when you know that you have become everything, Yatratu sarvam atmaiva bhu tatra kenakam pashyet is another Upanishad what says that. When you know that it is the same material with which I am made, I am existing, or my individuality or my feeling of I amness is the same thing with which everyone or every object in the world is having. And then that feeling of sahodaryam means come out of from the same material. Sahodaram is normally told for the people who are born from the same mother, all called brothers. No? In Sanskritam we call it as sahodarya, sahodara, saha udara, from the same stomach. But in the case of philosophy here, the entire world is a sahodaryam. That feeling comes that everything has come out from that. In the Chandogya Upanishad says, no? Vacharambanam vikaro namadeyam mrittigatyeva satyam. All the mud pots or the mud elements which are made out of mud, the thing is only of the mud, same as all the gold ornaments are of gold. Same way, everything in this world, you are part of the world, so you cannot be different from that. You are also made of the same material which the entire world is made. So why do you make a difference between you and others is what the Upanishad tells you. So then when you are having the oneness, Sarvatma Bhava, Sarvam Atma Bhava, Sarvam Atmam is I am the self and this self in me is the self in everyone. That feeling when it comes, it is called Abhayam Brahma, fearlessness, because you are no more threatened by the existence of others. You don't have the fear of otherness. That state of fearlessness of Brahman comes. Yet, Tidirshitam Param, those who are inquisitive or who want to cross over, Tidirshitam means Taratum Ichanta, or those who want to swim across the param of samsara, or that limit, the chaya above, which is told in the previous sloka, that darkness, to cross over the darkness in the ocean of light. where you are the light and you become the light and you are one and only one. For those people, Nachiketam Shakemahi, we can resort to that method of Nachiketa ritual or the Sravana Manana Nididhyasana. Now, having told that these are the two methods in which what is the Brahma, who knows in the previous, when he stopped, we knew now that is what is all about. But how do I go? This question can come to everyone. Now you have told me what is it like and everything. You told me there is Avayam, Paramam, Aksharam, Param, Brahma. All those things are fine and beautiful for me to hear. You are talking about things which are not possible to reach. Like, talking after going to Swarga. For that I have to die to go to Swarga, to know what is available. Whether it is true or not, I don't know. So how do I know is a question which can come to an aspirant or a student of philosophy or student of Upanishads can ask it. Knowing that these thoughts will be running in the mind of Nachiketa, Yama starts giving the example, which is also available in the Bhagavad Gita. So we will see what is the example. Now this is the example which I told. We can look from both the angles. We can look at from the philosophical point of view, or we can take it as an upasana where you want to do an imaginative, upasana on that, the truth which is being explained through that. Atmanam radhinam viddhi shariram radhamevatu buddhim tu sarathim viddhi manapragraha mevacha. Atmanam radhinam viddhi shariram ratham eva tu buddhim tu sarathim viddhi mana pragraha eva cha. Now this and the next sloka is continuous, but let us take the meaning of this sloka and the next sloka before we get into the philosophical part of it. Viddhi, Atmanam Radhinam Viddhi. Know the one who sits in the Ratha, or the one who is the rider of the Ratha, to be the Atma or the Jiva in the body. Understand that, O Nachiketa, Rathinam Atmanam Viddhi. Know that this Atma is the Rathinam in the body. Shariram Ratham Evatu. Shariram tu Ratham. This body is the chariot. Buddhim tu Sarathim Viddhi. And the charioteer of this body is Buddhi. It is the intellect which is guiding or which is giving direction which way the body should function or which way the body should be. The Atma is only a rider. He sits in that body, and it is the body which is riding, which is going places. And Buddhi, intellect, is the one which is a charioteer. Mana pragraha mevacha. Mind is the reins which is the intellect is controlling it. So mind is under the Buddhi, because intellect is the one which is giving instruction for the mind, what is right, what is wrong, which way to do, which way not to do. And that the analytical part or the logical aspect of the body is in the intellect. So the Jivatma is the charioteer or the rider of the chariot. The reins are in the hands of the charioteer, Buddhi, intellect, and minds are the reins with which, what do they do? Indriyani hayanahu vishayam steshu gocharan atmendriya manoyuktam bhokta tyahur manishinaha. Indriyani hayanahu vishayan teshu gocharan Atmendriya manam yukta mano yuktam bhoktaha tyahu manishinaha. Now, having told what is the form of the body and the Jivatma in the body, intellect is the one which is the charioteer, and he is using the reins which is controlling the horses. The mind is the one which is controlling the horses. Now, what are the horses? Indriyani. Now, the horses are like the sense organs are like the horses. We have five horses running in 5 different directions. That is the Shabda Sparsha Rasa Rupa Gandha Shrotra. All those things, the sight, the eyes, ears, smell, touch, all those 5 sense organs are the horses which takes the body in enjoyment in the world. Now, assuming that we are taking a travel towards the Aksharam Paramam Padam, the journey of the individual is starting to merge with the ultimate. So here we have been told that the body is not a liability to you. You have the body, you have the intellect which is a charioteer, you have the mind which can control the reins of the Indriyas, and the Indriyas are the horses. And what is that thing? Vishayanteshu Gojaran. They are grazing in the objects which are external from the body. In that, the horses or the sense organs are grazing, means they are enjoying the sense organs. Manishina ityahu. This is how the men who, Manishina means who have, with a high level of intellect, they have come out with this example to declare that what is that? Atma Indriya Mano Yuktam. The combination of the Jiva along with the mind and the sense organs, it appears to be the enjoyer. Now, if you look at this, the 2 slokas put together, the master of the car, he sits behind the vehicle and he instructs the driver to go to different places or wherever he wants to go. Now, it is the driver who has the control over the entire vehicle. The master has only instruction, or he is an enjoyer of the ride. He doesn't drive the vehicle. So that is where that Atma Indriya Manoyuktam Bhokta. So the Bhokta or the enjoyer is a totality of the sense organs, the mind, and the observer of the enjoyment as the Atma. In this, all 3 put together is the rider, is the one who is traveling. So, if you look at this example, what we can see is that the owner or the vehicle or the chariot who is riding in the chariot, he is not doing any action. His presence sitting, the moment he sits in the vehicle, in the chariot, the charioteer starts the horses to start running. Same way, the moment that Jivatma enters the body, the intellect, the mind and the sense organs start functioning for engaging in the world outside. Now, only if you look at the other way around, when the master is not there, but the master is not in the mood of riding, even though the charioteer, the horse and the reins and everything is there, it stands still, which is in the deep sleep. When he presents, when he wants a ride, he doesn't want a ride but the presence, mere presence, he sits in the vehicle itself, makes the chariot move around in the direction where the Indriyas are taking, the sense organs are taking. So you have to consider this example. So where in the Brihadaranya Upanishad, that there is a statement where the Yajnavalkya makes, Dhyayativa Lelayativa, as if the person is meditating or he is the one who is moving around. Actually speaking, the Jivatma, the self in us, is not doing anything. He is Akarta Abhokta. He is neither the Bhokta nor the Karta of the working. His presence, Yasya Smarana Matrena Janma Samsara Bandhanat vimuchyate. So by presence of that Atma in the body is why the body is in function. So just before the session started, I was explaining this to Patrick that the Western philosophy is looking for that consciousness within the body. But they do not understand that the consciousness is not locally localized in the body, as in only that the reaction of the body, which makes the scientist or the neuroscientist and others feel that, the consciousness is associated with the body. It is just like that, the presence of light only can show the face in the mirror. In the absence of the light, the mirror and your face, even though are face opposite to each other, they cannot have a function of seeing in the mirror. But the presence of the light is required. The light is neither in the mirror nor on your face, but it is there everywhere. But the presence of the light is only when the mirror becomes useful for us to see our face. Same way, the presence of that Atma, the Jivatma in the body, the feeling of that body has come alive is there. Therefore, the body looks to be enjoying because of the mind and the intellect and the indriyas. Now here he goes into the further explanation how this is happening. Yastu vijnanavan bhavati bhavati tena manasa sada tasya indriyani vasyani duštashva iva sarate. Yastu vijnanavan bhavati yuktena manasa sada tasya indriyani vashani duštashva iva sarate. Now, yaha avijnanavan, the one who do not make out the difference or the knowledge is not there, to him it happens like what? Sada ayuktena manasa. Now, ayuktena manasa is the mind which is not bridled to the horses. The horses are free to run amok. So, ayuktena manasa means the mind is which is in control of the horses. Ayuktena manasa means the one which is not having any control on the sense organs. Hence, therefore, such a person is called avijnanavan. And he becomes an unintelligent person or indisciplined person. Tasya indriyani avashyani. For him, his sense organs are not under his control. His sense organs are in control of him. Wherever his senses are getting attracted, he goes that direction. And when you have got 5 sense organs, you are torn between one after the other. You want something which is good to see, you want something good to hear, you want something good to taste, you want something good to touch, you want something like that. And each one throws up each requirement each time. So the 5 sense organs are driving you in the 5 different directions. And the mind is not in control of it. Therefore, he is called a man without discrimination. To him, how it is like, Duštashva iva sarate. Now the Sarathi or the charioteer has got untamed or untrained horses yoked to the chariot. What will be the fate of the charioteer who tries to control the horses? Because they are wild horses. They have not been trained to behave in a proper way. Even if you have the reins under the control, they are not being trained properly how to do a journey. So even by yoking to the horse or the cart cannot go in any direction. It may move forward, it may move backward, or sometimes it may go round and round. We know there is no way in because the horses are not being controlled. So this is one way of when the Yama says this is the situation for the avijnanavan who has no knowledge about how the method of knowing the truth is to be done. Because he is indicating that Duštashva iva sarate, what he is indicating that it is important that the importance of the sense organs are as important as the journey itself. For the journey to be successful, unless the sense organs are bridled and controlled and you know how to use your sense organs, your journey is never going to be successful. Then he comes to the saying of, in the case of the next set of Vijnanavan. Now he said Avijnanavan, for the one who is without control on the sense organs, what happens to him? Now he tells the other one. Yastu Vijnanavan bhavati yuktena manasa sada tasya indriyani vashyani sadashva iva sarate. This is the opposite of that, what we discussed earlier in this earliest mantra. One who becomes knowledgeable, discrimination between how to use his sense organs. Indriyani indriyeshu vartata. Iti, that is the truth. The sense organs will be engaging in the sense objects because that is the nature of the vastu. You cannot change an eye from but seeing an object. A sound being told cannot escape your ears if it is within the audible range. Same is the case with all the sense organs. But Vijnanavan, so for a man who of discrimination or a knowledge, for him, Yuktena Manasa, he has the mind which is riddled or which can be bridled, and the horses, the sense organs are under his control. Tasya Indriyani Vashyani. For him, the sense organs are under his control. He knows what is the role of each sense organ. He will not allow them to go amok and to know without direction they will, pull him apart. How? Sadashva iva sarate. Like well-trained horses, his journey will be the successful journey, and he is the one who is going to reach the Paramam Padam. He is the one who is going to reach the ultimate destination because he has the horses which have been trained. He has got a mind which is controlling the horses. He has a good intellect which is instructing the mind, and in such a body which is yoked with such good sense organs, which shows that even for the spiritual journey, your sense organs should be in prime condition, in a very good condition. Because if you are not your sense organs are not in good condition, you cannot make out what is the Nitya Vastu Viveka. What is the difference between the transient and permanent senses? And bodham prati, every bodham, because when that happens, every experience, through the experience, how do we know the awareness which is the master sitting in the chariot? For that, the horses should be able to feed, the indriyas should be able to feed the senses through the mind and the intellect to the right, the honor of the chariot. Then only that, the right direction will be known, but that he will reach his destination. So it is as good as important that the sense organs also have to be in the very good condition. So, what he says that Sadashva iva sarate, that, like the very trained and tamed horses, how that horses can take you to your final destination. Similar is our journey towards that Paramam Padam, Aksharam Paramam Padam, that Abhyam Brahma, which is that fearlessness state of that, for that which is very important, that this example is either philosophically or if you want to meditate on that, in either case you will be reaching the same destination. Again, some more aspects of the same thing is being told. Yastu Vijnanavan bhavati yamanaskas sadashuji nasa tatpadam apnodi samsaram cha adhigacchati. Now what happens to the person? What happens to such a person whose horses are not bridled, who has no control on his sense organs? Yastu avijnanavan bhavati. The one without discrimination or the right intellect, or he doesn't know how to discriminate between the right and the wrong, or the nitya vastu viveka nasti, or it doesn't have the differentiation between what is permanent, what is transient. Amanaska Sada Shuchi. And his mind is Sada Ashuchi, always with impurities. And he nurtures these impurities in his mind. Amanaska, with a disturbed mind. Manaska, Anmanaska means one who, Manas is not in control, Manaska is my controlled mind. Amanaska is one which is uncontrolled mind. And Sada Ashuchi, always immersed in the sensual enjoyment without knowing what is the destination. If such a person is indiscriminate person is that nasatat padamam padam apnoti. He doesn't reach his destination. He never reaches that state of aksharam, abhayam brahma, aksharam paramam brahma. Sa samsarim adhigachati. He is going and coming back in the same cycle of rebirth and like the worms who are happy in the slush or in the dirt. This enjoying person who is enjoying the sensual organs, he remains in the sensual level, and he is, even after his death, he is not looking for his destination. He is wanting to come back because Ridam Vivandau, for the results of their action is to get back into the world of samsara. For such a person, he cannot reach his destination of Aksharam Paramam Padam. Whereas the person of the opposite side, Yastu Vijnanavan Bhavati Samanaska Sadashuchi Sadhu Tatpadam Apnoti Yasmad Bhuyo Na Jayate. Yastu Vijnanavan Bhavati, and he is also Samanaska Sadashuchi. Satu Tatpadam Apnoti, he reaches that place. Yasmad Bhuyo Na Jayate, from there is no return. Yadgatwana Nivartande Taddhama Paramam Mama is what Sri Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita. So that is being reflected here. Yastu Vijnanavan Bhavati, but the one who has got knowledge, discrimination between Nitya Nitya Vastu Viveka, what is permanent, what is impermanent, what is transient in the nature, what is, momentary in life. And his mind is also Samanaska. His mind is without perturbance. His mind is sturdy like a rock. And he knows where he is going and what is his requirement. And Sadashuchi, and his mind is nurturing the purity of thought. Satupat Tatpadam Apnodi, he reaches, Apnodi means reaches. Tatpadam, that state or that abode he reaches. What is that? Tad Aksharam Paramam Brahmam Abhayam Brahma is in that which was explained in the sloka earlier. That Padam he is reaching. Yasmad, after reaching there, na bhuyo jayate, he has no birth again because he has become one with that. The rider of the horse has reached his destination. He has reached his palace, or he has reached his home. That homecoming is possible only if you have that Vijnana Samanaska Sadashuchi, if with a pure mind and an established mind, with the discrimination, only such people can reach that padam, that state of abode or that ultimate state or going home can happen. Now is the explanation about further in the same line. Vijnana Saradir Yastu Manapragravan Naraha So Adhana Paramapnoti Tat Vishnoho Paramam Padam. This is the culmination which is talked by in this Upanishad for that. What is that Paramam Padam? Tat Vishnoho Paramam Padam. That is the abode of Vishnu. Vishnu is two ways you can see those who are in the devotional thing. They can take Vishnu as Vaikuntha. Or those who are in the Tattvajnana, they can know that Vishnu is Vishnu, Vibhutvad Vishnuhu. Vishnu, the other name for Vishnu is Vibhu. Vibhu means Sarvagatam, Susushmam. He is the all-pervading. That means when he controls all his sense organs, Vijnanavan Saratir Yastu, the Vijnanavan Sarathi, the intellect, here the Sarathi is Vaini. Till now we have been talking about the horses, but he is talking about the Sarathi who has also knowledge. Just not that the horses are tamed is not enough. You also need the intellect which is Vijnana, with the knowledge. And Manapragavan Nara, and that Vijnanavan Sarathi, the one which, the charioteer or the one who has the control over the chariot, he should be able to control the reins, which is the mind, and Sa Advanaha Paramam, that journey itself will end Apnoti Vishnu Paramam Padam. That is the one which will make the destination attainable or within the reach for that. So we need, one is what is to be done. We need an intellect which has got the discriminative power. We need the mind which is under the control of the discriminative power of the intellect. And we should have the horses or the indriyas or the sense organs which are well trained, which knows when to engage, which knows when not to engage. And all of them should be in very good condition, otherwise the journey cannot be completed. So with these conditions in the mind, with good sense organs, with a mind which knows how the sense organ should be engaged, and the intellect which has the discriminative power to which direction it should go, then the journey of the rider will end up in such a place from where he has no return. Yadgatvana nivartande tadhama paramam mama, or he merges, he attains to tad paramam padam akshayam, abhayam, aksharam paramam padam, that he reaches that shape from where there is no or coming back, because it is aksharam. It is not one where there is a diminishing take place or where there is no. And why it is that? Because it's Vishnu paramam padam. It is vibhatvad Vishnam. It is sarvagadam. It is everywhere. So you merge in the totality, and once you merge with the totality, there is no individuality anymore to come back. That is the state which is being told in this shloka. Now, there are next two shlokas which are basically 10th and 11th together should be read, which is talking about how each one is superior to the other, and how that can be done in the meditative process as well as the intellectual process, which I think I'll take it in the next session, because it has got continuity with the following slokas, mantras in the same Upanishad. So having reached the Vishnu Paramam Padam, having reached that abode of Vishnu, let us enjoy that supreme bliss of Abhayam Praptosi Vaijanagaha. That is where we have reached now. We don't have to be afraid of anything, because we are that infinite bliss. And in that infinite bliss, once we are there is no getting back, no going back, no falling down from that state. We are not sinners who will be thrown back from that state. Once that knowledge is attained, there is no going back. That is what the Upanishad says. I'll stop here. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. That's it. Dhanyavada. Thank you all.
Thank you, Arbinduji. Thank you very much. Especially the last mantra, which gives so much of assurance. Beautiful. Nacha punaravartate. Thank you very much for your lucid explanation of all the mantras. I think now we can open the room for discussion. Rajji, kindly allow.
Sure, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Pranam Arvindji, Charan Sparsh, Pranam to everyone.
Pranam, sir.
Pranam Saniji, Pranam Saniji.
So for the good of all, Arvindji, the beautiful thing mentioned in the Kathopanishad, that the Atma is sitting out there and the intellect is the one with the reins, and the reins is the mind, and the senses are the horses, and the objects are the roots itself. So Arvindji, the person we are talking about here and the one who is discriminating about is here, who is that one? Is that one made up of all of these things, or it is just the intellect, the mind and the body only? Which one are we talking about?
The example given is about the Jivatma or the individuality. The Sakshi in each one of our body. There is a Sakshi which is knowing the intellect, which is knowing the mind, which is knowing the sense organs. And that Sakshi, even though he is not taking any ride anywhere, but the very moment when it is seated in the body, that the body is the one which is taking that journey. So that knowledge, that sense organs and the mind and the intellect are not independently operating. It is his presence which makes the intellect, the mind and the body are. So that knowledge, when the rider or when it happens in the intellect and the mind, what happens is that the mind and intellect becomes, as long as that body is there, that is why the body is important. The journey is for the body. And the body can start the journey, do the journey only when that Jivatma is sitting there. Otherwise, that's a dead body. The sense organs or the organs you can see in the body, the mind and intellect, which we know is a very subtle matter, but at the end of it, they are all matter. But then, when the Jivatma is not in the body becomes part of the, the material with which they were made. So here the journey, what they are talking about is the journey for the horse, for the mind and for the intellect. But the journey cannot take place unless the Jivatma sits in the body. The Jivatma, when it is not sitting there, the mind and intellect and the sense organs are useless. They cannot journey. It is just like the driver and the car with the full petrol can stand there in the portico. He will not be able to take a ride and go anywhere unless the master comes and say, okay, take me somewhere. Right? So same way, the journey cannot be completed with the equipments unless the Jivatma sits there. And the Paramampadam is attained by all. It is not the master alone reaches the destination. The entire assemblage of the sense organs, the mind and the intellect all reaches the destination, which is that state of fearlessness it is not the Jivatma which is reaching the Paramatma. And when the Jivatma, Paramatma, Ekatvam, when it is happening is that the mind, the intellect and the horse has no separate individual existence in that example. The sense organs merges with the knowledge. The mind merges with the knowledge. The intellect merges with the knowledge. Along with that, the presence of the Jivatma is only when this is possible. That is what the example of the chariot has to be taken in this example, particular.
Thank you so much, Arvindji. Charan Sparsh.
Pranam, sir. Pranam, Guruji. I have one question. Am I audible?
Yes, Kamal.
Yeah, actually, my question is basically, suppose we are into this materialistic work, just daily basis, busy with our all activities and like this thing. So the pursuit of goals beyond these worldly desires, maybe factual fact is that we are not able to do that much. So, is there some ways that we can at least try to find out something for our own self besides these worldly desires? That means roti, kapda, makan, which is the basic needs. Every time we struggle it out with every daily basis. This is a routine. So, can you just guide how to proceed up with alternately with this activity also? Thank you.
Yes, Kamalji. The question of bread, butter and shelter or roti kapda makan, as you say, we think that they are the end in itself. Agar wo mil gaya, if you achieve that, your journey is complete. But you should open your mind and look around. There are people with different levels of roti kapda makan. If is reaching that destiny, if attaining that is the end of the journey, why should there be people who are rich again keeping on trying to become more rich? People who have got just bare minimum of roti kapda makan, they are not happy with that roti kapda makan, what they have got. This is what is explained in the shloka, that avijnanavan, the one who has no knowledge where he is going in his journey. The purpose of life, or what is the purpose of life? It is not to reach roti kapda or makan. Roti kapda makan is only a part of the journey, but what is the purpose of the human life we have taken? We do not know who we are, therefore we don't know where we are going or what is the purpose of life. We assume that we are the physical body, therefore the roti kapda makan or the bread, butter and shelter becomes important because we think we are the body. It is for the body the roti kapda makan becomes important. Have you seen that? When you are in your deep sleep, there's the makan, the roti or the kapda or the palace or the hut where you are sleeping. For the sleeping person, whether he is in the hut or in the palace, the sleep is the same. The person is the same. The one who is enjoying the sleep, whether he is a rich man or a poor man, the sleep is a sleep, there is no difference. But the moment we identify with our body, then the needs become different. For some people, the need never ends. For some people who understood what is the purpose of life, for them, whatever is available in their journey, they are happy with it. So they have achieved happiness, whereas other people with having everything in their life, they are still not happy. So are we searching for happiness or are we searching for acquiring the things? And if acquiring the things is the end of it, where is the end of acquiring this? Even the richest man still keeps searching for more. That means definitely sees that he has not reached his destination. Whereas the man who has found the happiness, whether he owns anything or he doesn't own anything, but he has found the happiness within himself. You can see him even not getting motivated, even with he is given, all the temptation by the sense organs, he is not interested in entertaining the sense organs. So it is for our purpose that we should know what is the purpose of our life. Where are we going? Who are we? All these questions, unless that is answered, we will be in that untrained horses, like each one pulling us in different directions.
Arvindji, I wanted to ask, like on the word Vijnana itself. So this comes multiple times in the last few slokas, right? So comparing to other words like Jnana, and we also have words like Prajnana. So what's the significance? Like, is the word to be? What does it mean? Like in this context, Vijnana. What does it actually mean?
If I am to quote Shankarabhashya, Vijnana is that knowledge, Nitya Nitya Vastu Viveka. One who has that knowledge, he is known as a Vijnanavan, who has the differential because he sees the permanency and impermanency of things. Jnana is basically, in the normal sense, it is a knowledge. But Brahmajnana or the Jnana, ultimate Jnana, when it is in context, it changes according to where it is being used. So even though Jnana is knowledge about a vastu, whereas Vijnana is the quality of the one who has that knowledge. Between the difference between Jnana and Vijnana, that is the difference. Vijnanavan is the one who has the discriminative knowledge. Jnani is the one who knows the truth.
Okay, thank you, Arvind.